Well, welcome back, Southern Oregon University. We've got one of Southern Oregon's finest here again, Mark Chilcoat, the professor here for the video production program. Mark, thanks for being here.
Sure thing, John. Hello, John. Hello, audience. Ooh, hey, great to be back here.
He's really like this in class.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, I always thought he was kind of like the cool uncle that would let you stay up late, watch Skinamax when your parents weren't around, maybe tell you a dirty joke when they left the room, something like that.
Who in their right mind would think it would take an hour and 10 minutes to go from Bedford to Ashland? I mean, an hour and 10 minutes? It used to be like 12 minutes. I was over here, I was parked. And it's terrible, it's unhealthy.
I was department chair, I think, maybe on the search committee looking for a person to teach video production, and he drove me crazy with all sorts of questions about health insurance, benefits, and all that type of thing. And that kind of concerned me, but once we hired the guy, he never had any worries again. He's just easygoing, no concerns about anything.
I am proud of you, but the Army, you're gonna hate it. You're too independent and smart to have them telling you what to do all the time.
Not only was he an amazing professor, he also was an amazing friend, and I don't think that I would be nearly as good as a filmmaker as I am becoming without him.
Maybe I'm tired of thinking for myself, Dad. Maybe I just want to be a part of something for right now.
Don't you think maybe this is going just a little bit too far?
According to everything I've heard, Dad, this is going to give me a lot to be proud of. First impression was you were just an old grandpa that really hated being around kids, but eventually, you know, I think I warmed up to you, and then once we both got on the spotlight together, I think it was pretty much magic.
September 2005, my first class of college, Masterpieces of Film. Mark comes in with a neck brace on because he had just been in a car accident, I think, and he was on painkillers, and it was just the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. And I thought to myself, wow, college is going to be an interesting experience.
I've actually known Mark quite well and worked with him extensively in developing this program over the last 10 years. And it's really been a fabulous ride. I really appreciate the work that Mark has done and the leadership that he's shown in developing this program.
I first met Mark Chilcoat here when I was visiting the school to see if I wanted to go to SOU. And I remember thinking, what the hell is this Southern guy doing here on the West Coast at Oregon? It's so weird.
I could walk from Bedford to Ashland a lot faster than I could drive it now, and I could be a lot healthier. You could tell I'm overweight.
Favorite quote of his that I frequently remember is, "Damn kids, period."
He's a humorous guy, and so you kind of have to look through the kind of roughness and get to the humor of it. His nicknames for people and nicknames for things and terms he would use, like, basically you're a good boy. Basically you're a boy. Come on over here. Stand there. Need you. Stand right there. Okay, basically you're a good boy. Good job. Or, yeah, like he'd call somebody a mullet head from time to time, or...
Definitely what I learned from him was that everything that is in the scene for a reason, especially if it's longer than it is wide.
When I came in freshman year, I was scared of him.
My first impression of Mark, that wow, he was a really friendly redneck.
Mark Chilcoat has taught me to care and be passionate about my filmmaking, or just don't do it at all, and also steal from the best. They did.
One of my early memories of you, Mark, is when, as chair, I asked you to stop engaging in a particular behavior that was perhaps not so great publicly for a department member to engage in. But some weeks later, you came up to me and thanked me and said it was the right thing. And I thought that took a big person, and I appreciated that. I appreciated that a lot, Mark.
My first impression of Mark, and I would assume is much the same with everybody, is he's an abrasive fellow. He's a force of nature.
Dad, I don't need your lectures anymore, okay? I ran out of gas and I'm fine.
Fine? You call getting shit-faced and driving all over the valley fine?
Dad, I'm a grown man. You know, you don't gotta worry about me anymore. You got plenty of shit to worry about yourself.
Look, I'm gonna be worried about you until the day I die. It doesn't matter how old you are. That's what I am supposed to do. And what you're doing ain't helping you at all. And it's killing me.
You can't quite understand him when you first meet him, and that takes time, which is something I've been lucky enough to have with Mark.
To me, the worst thing is to get cold French fries. Now, good God Almighty, is there anything worse than a cold French fry? There's nothing but a bunch of goo and grease, and it kind of slides down and it hits your stomach.
I especially liked Mark in our department meetings. We'd have these harebrained ideas coming from John Lang and Sue Walsh, and we'd listen to them, and after a while Mark would say, you know, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm again it.
Hi, Mark. My first impression to you has to do with socks. I leaned down and saw you at a department meeting wearing socks that looked like this, and I was so impressed because I'd never seen a sock like this before with the patterns like this. So I've worn them every day since. Thank you so much.
He didn't know who I was. For the first 6 weeks of the term, I was Adam Arthur. My name's not Adam, it's Chris Chilcoat. Chris.
Things I've learned from Chilcoat: metaphors, motifs, and...
I was a little intimidated at first, but as I started to respect him more, I understood what he was trying to teach us, and he really got me excited about video, and his humor was something that I enjoyed to come to every day in class.
Well, he told us that every frame of your film should be a beautiful photograph, and that's words to live by for a cinematographer.
My granddaddy told me once that a man can love in a lot of different ways, and you never know how he's going to express his love. And all I got to say is, I wish my daddy loved me as much as you love your students.
I want to tell you that my general experience of you is one of inspiration in the dimensions of kindness and generosity and good heart. In those three arenas, Mark, no one surpasses you.
I have learned to have purpose with my video, purpose with my editing, purpose with my cuts, and to look at video in a new, subjective way that I can take my eye into a whole new world.
He really teaches you to see movies. Think critically about them, get the most out of them, really see what is behind the intent of the filmmaker.
Chilcoat, I really appreciate all that you've done for all of us, all that you've put up with.
Thanks, Mark, for showing up late for every faculty meeting that you've ever been to.
You're going to be late again? Again? All right, I'll tell your class. Hey, Mark, just kidding. We're going to miss you a lot around here. You're part of the RVTV family, always have been, always will be.
Mark, aka Dad, we don't need to talk about some mushy stuff. You know, I've been through a lot. We got our memories, but just want to let you know that you were the greatest teacher I've ever had in school and in life. So
hope there's a lot of people watching, because I'd like to express that I think he's a little bit misunderstood and underappreciated for the fact that he challenges people.
In a Disney film class, no less, you once said that you're not a bleeding heart because your heart's been broken so many times by the human condition.
You have such a huge impact on so many students in your discipline, and I just want you to know that I've seen it, and I've been so pleased to be associated with you, a person who's had that impact.
That's something that always struck me, because you emphasized throughout my coursework with you that social responsibility, above all, is what film should serve as.
I hope you can feel proud with what you've done at SOC, Mark. I know some of the students don't like being criticized the way you do it, but it's that tough love approach that's going to make them better in the long run, and I think you've done a fantastic job.
Mark, after 20 years of working at SAU, I just want to say enjoy your retirement.
Thanks for being there all those years.
I hope you have a happy retirement, and I certainly hope that after I graduate, we can stay in contact and I can keep learning from you.
I've really enjoyed working with you all these years, and I know you're going to be back, which I really find reassuring. Have a great retirement.
I just want to say you're a great fella, and hopefully we can hang out soon, and I love you to death.
And do remember, Mark, I'm again it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Dr. C.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark, for everything.
Thank you, Mark.
Chilcoat, thank you.
Thanks, Chilcoat.
Thanks a lot, Chilcoat.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
And you take care of yourself. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Doc. Best wishes.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Chilcoat. Love you, guy.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. By the way, after all of this, I have one thing to say. You're basically a good man.